Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another live stream. Today, this is the DCTV show episode 66. Eric should be joining me later in the stream, so I'm very excited to talk about what we have to talk about this week. There was so much that went down. We have lots of DC film stuff to talk about because there's been some big delays, but especially in regards to our DC TV shows. Because, there was Gotham Knights that was just announced. Actually, that's going to be tomorrow's video. And we've also got, The Flash, which just came back. And then also we have Superman Lois. So much went down this week, and it's all very, very exciting. So hopefully you guys are ready, and hopefully you're, excited for the stream. Sorry for starting a bit later. Hopefully all of you guys are starting to tune in now. That's awesome. Welcome to everyone who is joining. And like I said, Eric should be joining at some point. We'll see at what point he does join. But we kind of got a new kind of setup for the stream. Got like this kind of cool background around. I thought it was like pretty cool. I'm going to work on it more. But for now, this is kind of a bit new. And just as always, please be sure to send in your super chat questions if you want to be answered on the stream. It's going to pop up on the top right corner up here, your question, when it actually comes up. And also, you can, instead of doing super chats, and like I say, over the last couple of weeks, you guys can do super chats. It's no big deal. That's awesome. Any support towards the channel is great. But if you do it via the tip link here, it literally is the same as super chats, but it's just better because it doesn't go through YouTube and it's just a whole different thing. So please be sure to send in any questions right now. Okay, so let's see who is here in the chat, and we can say hi. So we got Tiki, Jamie, Kriggs, Trekker, Skater, Nathan, Aaron. Welcome everyone. So hopefully you guys are doing good, and you're excited for this live stream to talk about all this different stuff. If you look at it, my notes are stacked. I have so much stuff. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys have questions, so it doesn't matter what I'm talking about in the stream. As long as it's kind of DC related, send in any questions that you have and I'll be sure to answer them. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into the first question. So the first question is this. Well, the first topic, is in regards to DC films. Okay, so the DC films, we've got The Flash, we got Black Adam, Shazam, Aquaman. There has been lots of changes in the last day. A lot went down, and I'm gonna break it down in a minute. But look over here, Clam Rocks has sent in a £17.99 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting on the channel in such a big way. So Clam Rocks says, "Are you annoyed that the Flash movie is delayed to next year? I hope Sasha and Ezra are busy and still excited for next year." So thank you very much for the super chat, and that literally ties into what I was just about to talk about. So good timing, Clam Rocks. I don't know why I said Clash. Sorry about that. I really hope, I'm very upset. It's okay because at the end of the day, they are delaying it apparently because they are behind on VFX. I want it to be as good as possible, but it's been so many years that we've been talking about this film. And if you guys remember, this film has been delayed 6 times or something like that. And so I really did think this time we would get to November and we would actually see the Flash film, but that's not the case. It turns out the Flash film has moved to June 2023. That is what? How long is that? That's this. Okay, so we got December, January, February, March, April, May, June. That's 8 months. That's an 8-month delay. That is nearly that is 4 months shy of a year. So it's a big delay for the Flash film, and obviously I agree with you, Clan. I am annoyed by it. But like I said, I do want it to be the best that it can be, and it's just funny that they've released trailers, they're kind of hyping up, they even just released that big kind of DC teaser where they were like, we have this many films coming out this year, and then they suddenly announce, oh, all of those films are not coming out, apart from one of them, which is Black Adam. So if you guys didn't know, in fact, Black Adam was supposed to come out in the summer in July, but now it's coming out in October. So literally October 21st. So that's like 10 days before Halloween, 10 days before my birthday. So, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. But that was the first thing to be announced. That was the first thing that came out. And so obviously with that, we were like, okay, so they just basically screwed the timeline. I'm not talking about like a physical timeline, but I'm talking about like the film schedule timeline, because it's like completely messed up. Like that's not how it was supposed to go down this year. There was supposed to be so many different things that was happening, but like all the DC films, they've all been pushed back, apart from, and this is big, so continuing talking about what you're talking about, Clan Rocks. And once again, thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate it. Shazam actually moved up. So that's the one film that they've got nearly in the bag. They've nearly finished it. So Shazam is moving up from 2023 to this year, 2022. And it's moving into Aquaman's date on the same day that Avatar 2 comes out. So obviously it has big competition. But it's exciting. That means that the Shazam film is coming out this year. We were expecting to wait for it next year, even though they filmed already. And we know that I think they finished filming before Aquaman, and Aquaman 2 was supposed to come out this year. So it's kind of crazy that we're getting Shazam. Very excited to see Shazam because I really liked the first film. I actually watched it again recently. I think it's like a very fun film. But so it like moved up loads, like many months, I think, like at least like 6 months. I don't remember the exact day it was originally supposed to come out in 2023. But nevertheless, it is very, very exciting that we are going to be seeing Shazam. Although we have Aquaman who has moved because Shazam takes its date, and Aquaman 2 is going to be in March 2023. So, like that's like, I mean, I'm less shocked about that. Like, I'm a bit more, like you said, Clan, I'm a bit more upset about The Flash because it's just been like such a long time. Like, Aquaman, I can deal with it because we've had a Aquaman already. But, like, The Flash getting delayed again, I don't know, that's like the millionth time. So I'm a bit upset by that. But okay, thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. Let's move on to the next topic. So let's talk a bit about Gotham Knights. So they just announced some casting. I'm not gonna go into super detail about Gotham Knights because I'm going to be doing that in tomorrow's video, so I don't think, we kind of need to do in that. But basically, they've cast, like, a couple of people, and I'm just going to look up who exactly it is. But so they basically cast the characters of Julia Dent and also Carrie Kelly. So a version of Robin and Joker's daughter. So there is Olivia Rose Keegan and Navia Robinson and Oscar Morgan. So they're all different actors. They've been cast for the pilot of Gotham Knights. And so Keegan is going to play Julia Dent, described as an abrasive, unpredictable, and a little unhinged. This version of Julia Dent is a survivor born in Arkham Asylum and abandoned by her father, the most dangerous man in Gotham. Julia forged herself into a brutal fighter and a skilled thief. So that is in fact Joker's daughter. So that's kind of crazy. You're gonna see a version of Joker. Well, at least the daughter of Joker in the Arrowverse. So that's mad. And Robinson is going to be playing Carrie Kelly, who is the first female Robin in the comics, and I really like that character, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's gonna be a cool character. I don't know if that's supposed. Well, that's not the adoptive son that they mentioned in the initial press releases for Gotham Knights. So we're gonna get like another Robin as well. So maybe two Robins, or I'm not sure if they both will be Robin at this point or not, or however it goes down. We'll see. But yeah, like it's very exciting to see all of these. We're obviously gonna break it down more tomorrow, but for now, let's go ahead and move on to this week's episodes. So this week's episodes, we had a lot going on. So we had the Flash coming back and Superman and Lois coming back. So, lots of exciting stuff. Tell me in the chat, what did you think of this week's episodes? Like, which episode did you like the most? Was it the Flash or Superman and Lois? I know there was some other shows on, I believe, but I haven't watched them. Anyway, I know Naomi was on. Yeah, let's just have a look, and I'll wait for you guys to tell me what show were you most kind of excited to see, and like what did you think of it, kind of your overall thoughts. Yeah, I mean, I personally, I really liked the Flash this week. I thought Superman and Lois was pretty good. I thought it was a little bit of a dip from normal. But then again, I don't think the Flash episode was perfect. I do have nitpicks about it, and we will go into them. And I mean, if Eric does show up, I'm sure he's gonna give your thoughts and opinions. Well, his thoughts and opinions. Nathan says Flash by far was my favorite. It blew my mind. Yeah, I think there was just like lots of different little things that were super exciting. That like. Yeah, I feel like Superman and Lois wasn't as kind of crazy as The Flash this week, so maybe that's why it's a little bit more interesting, The Flash. I guess we're all excited because The Flash, just came back, and it's just like good to have the show back in general. One second, guys. Welcome Walker Dead. Welcome Jordan Ken. Welcome. Sorry, I just kind of got distracted for 1 second there. But yeah, let's go into my thoughts, because I mean, I have lots of notes. I have lots of things I want to talk about. So let's talk about the Flash first, and then we'll go into Superman and Lois afterwards, even though Superman and Lois airs first. And yeah, just a reminder to you guys, as we do hop into this, please be sure to send in your super chat questions, and you can also send it via the tip link if you want to do it like that. Like I said before, that is just a new thing that we've been kind of phasing in here over the last couple of weeks. It has worked, and it does pop up on the screen, and yeah, it's just a bit more streamlined. But yeah, so if you do have any burning questions about the Flash or Superman and Lois, now is the time to send them in. We're hitting like the 15-minute mark. We're gonna keep going for a long time longer, because we have lots of thoughts about this episode. Or at least I do. I'm sure a lot of you guys have big thoughts about the episode in general as well. Okay, so let's start where we start off. So we kind of pick up where we left off at the end of last season with our characters. So that specifically with Bart and Nora, because we haven't seen Bart and Nora since the finale of season 7. So they weren't in Armageddon. They were referenced like once, but basically it kind of explains where they've been. They've been like zipping back and forth, and even though they went back to the future, when they went back to the future, they kind of realized, oh crap, like we messed up the timeline, and we got to go back beyond where we were and go to the first instance where something changed. And that something that changed was in 2013 with Joe. And so apparently Joe was supposed to get shot, and then he would become like the chief of police, and like there would be all these different changes. And I mean, there was a reference to Booster Gold, which is obviously a Legends reference because he's now on Legends. But yeah, so like Bart and Nora are making big mistakes, and I'm sure you guys were like, what are you guys doing? Like, just stop it. Like, have you learned anything from your father? Like, you gotta like hold back on the time traveling. I thought he would have. I mean, in this timeline, they grew up with their dad, so it's not like Nora where, you know, in season 5 she didn't really know the limits of everything, but now she is this kind of different version of Nora, and they both grew up with their dad, so obviously they've been told about his time traveling escapades. But yeah, like it definitely seems like a lot. It's like a big learning lesson is what I'm trying to get at. Like they need to learn from this and hopefully not make big changes once again by being kind of I guess reckless. Welcome Fred. I'll answer your question in a minute. Just gonna quickly go over a couple of things. So yeah, at the start of the episode we have Bart and Nora, and it's really their episode. People have said that maybe this could be a setup for future stuff to come with the characters, maybe post the Flash ending. There was quite a few articles over the last couple of days. I mean, there was a couple of interviews. We're gonna be breaking them down because they talk about the idea of maybe this, like the writers and Eric Wallace writing this season as if it's like a final season. But yeah, so we go to the future. We see Jay Garrick. That is very exciting to see Jay back again. I was kind of wondering how Jay was going to factor into the episode, and it's made pretty clear early on that he's just there to be there, and like he doesn't do anything that crazy, but there is a couple of scenes where he does drop some big references. I feel like this episode they were dropping references and like teasers for the future, like left, right, and center, and I feel like that is one of the reasons why lots of people think that maybe, just maybe, there might be like a future spin-off with Bart and Nora, because I mean I guess they're pretty popular. Like, I'm gonna have to say this, like, I thought they were good, but at some points this episode was a bit cringy. Like, it was a bit, like, it was very heavy-handed on the humor. So I don't know what you guys think about that. So let me know in the chat. Do you think the humor was like maybe a bit too much? Like, they should have dropped down with some of the puns and stuff, like, now sis, go get excessive. You know, stuff like that. Yeah. And then you had the villains of the episode. Oh my god. The Royal Flush Gang is back. Jesus Christ, can we get a break? Like, we had the Royal Flush Gang. I think it was episode 1 of Armageddon. Or was it episode 2? I feel like it was episode 1. You guys can correct me in the chat. But episode 1 of Armageddon, and now we get them again in the first interlude episode, as Eric Wallace calls them. I don't know, I feel like... Do they think that the Royal Flush Gang are like a popular thing? Do you think that people really like them? I just don't see that ever being a big thing. Like, no one really likes them. It's like bringing back Goldface or Amunet Black every episode, like every 5 episodes. Like, yeah, I don't know. Just the Royal Flush Gang is super cringy. Like, they're always dropping puns to do with chess, left, right, and center. And they're like, my queen, my king. Oh, like, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. Because, you know, my king's gonna, like, box you, like, and you're gonna lose your face. Anyway, I don't know what they said, but anyway, I'm not a fan of the characters, as you can tell. But yeah, there is definitely, you know, a lot to. Well, actually, not a lot. I mean, there's not a lot to break down in regards to them, to be honest, because they're just like kind of cringy characters, and I guess cringy characters are gonna be cringy characters. Maybe I'm just talking by myself here. Guys, chime in the chat. Like, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. I feel like, oh, Jordan says, no, I don't think it was that cringy because I feel like there were some real emotional points. At least they didn't team up with Goldface. That is true. That is true. I didn't think the episode was that cringy. Like, I think there was a lot of humor, and I don't think a lot of the humor hit because it's especially driven on puns, and I think the puns were like, I don't know, a couple of steps too far sometimes. Whereas a bit like, yeah, sure. You think this is a good idea? But overall, it wasn't like a cringy episode. I say cringy because I'm talking about the Royal Flush Gang mainly. That is what I'm talking about when I say kind of cringy or anything like that. But yeah, Bart was quite clever in the highest part of the episode, pretending to be the manager and talking them down. Yeah, you're right, Nathan. I do think that was like a nice kind of twist in the episode where that kind of happened out of nowhere. Where Bart kind of shows up in the kind of manager's outfit and he kind of like plays everything down. Yeah. Nathan in the chat says the puns were worse than mine, and that is impossible. Well, there you go. Okay, let's move on. So, we have a new character who was introduced in this episode, and that new character was Avery Ho. So, Avery is a character from the comics. I'm sure some of you guys know who Avery is. If you read comics, you would have seen her relatively recently. I believe she was introduced like around Rebirth time. Might have been before, might have been just after that, but she's like a pretty new character. So she shows up in the Arrowverse for the first time in this episode, and she specifically shows up and interacts with Bart and Nora, which is obviously a big deal because she at one point is told about them being from the future, and it's like I mean, they're kind of setting something up. Like, there was that connection between Bart and Avery, and like that connection that they have, I feel like they're gonna definitely explore that more. I don't know if they're gonna wait until like maybe like Bart comes back and then Avery comes back. Like, I'm kind of a little bit confused because they haven't revealed anything in regards to the character. Like, is she going to stick around, or is she only going to show up when Bart shows up? So that is the big question right now. But in the comics, Avery is a speedster. She is a superhero. She's sometimes known as like the Flash of China, and she's an incredibly smart character, as you saw in the episode. And she basically has to figure out how to become a speedster, probably by the time we see her again. Like, I feel like that's what we're gonna see when we see her in the future, because you remember this version of Avery is from 2013, so I mean she would have had a long time till 2022 in the present day to have kind of maybe got powers or done more research. Obviously she's in the middle of her research. Actually, her lab is super interesting because it's in fact called Fast Track Labs. And in the comics, Fast Track is Mina Darwin. I think I'm saying her name right. Who was introduced in Rebirth, and she was Barry Allen's kind of speedster partner for a while until she became evil. And so I'm wondering, is this like an amalgamation of the two characters, or is Fast Track Labs just like a reference to Mina, and they're literally going straight Avery? Like, she doesn't seem like Mina, this version of Avery, so I'm gonna say the Fast Track thing is just a reference. There's always the chance that she calls herself Fast Track as a hero. It's quite a cool name, to be honest. Like, it sounds pretty good. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to more of this. Like, Mina seems like Avery seems like a really cool character. I really enjoyed her in this episode. I think she was one of the best things about the episode. And like I said before, that connection between Bart and Avery definitely is something to be further explored. And I think that's definitely got a lot of people kind of theorizing about maybe the future of them in the Arrowverse and what it could mean. Yeah, okay. Now let's move on to the next thing. And just as a reminder to you guys, if you do have any questions and you want me to answer them, obviously I'm going through my notes right here and giving you my thoughts and opinions on the Flash, and we're going to go to Superman and Lois shortly. Please be sure to send them in via Super Chat questions. You can do that by clicking the $sign in the chat, or you can do it by clicking this link. It's just in the chat as well. And you guys can send in a question, and you can type in any topic, question, or idea, and your support will be greatly appreciated towards the channel, as always. And yeah, I mean, let's move on to the next thing. So we talked about Avery right there, and you know, some of my theories. I'm very excited to see the future that she has on the show. Okay. So Grant pops up a couple of times in this episode. There's a couple of flashbacks to like Godspeed to Barry. I feel like the ones to Barry as the Flash were just a reminder that you're watching the Flash TV show, because you guys were right. Like, this episode is literally Bart and Nora, and it's their story, and everyone else is kind of a side character to that story. Even someone who's as involved as, like, I don't know, say like Jay. Yeah, he's a side character to them. Like, that's just how it is. And yeah. Sorry, I just was checking something. All right. Yeah, so basically, Grant and Barry, I was gonna say. Barry and Iris barely show up in this episode. All of Team Flash shows up at the end of the episode after, you know, they've had their break. Pardon me, guys, sorry. I'm very tired over here. What was I talking about? I just totally blanked. So Team Flash, they show up at the end of the episode. We have big timeline changes that are coming, and it's going to be, you know, a big kind of deal, and there's going to be lots of ramifications for what they've done. I mean, at the end of the episode, the big ending kind of cliffhanger teaser is the fact that you have, you know, the comb disappearing, and it kind of disintegrating because of the timeline changes. I mean, it looks similar to the what's it called? The shockwave that hit them. Anyway, the temporal wave. That's it. The temporal wave. So it's definitely similar to that, and I don't think the hair comb is anything of that much importance, if we're gonna be honest with you guys. But it plays a big kind of signifying role of what is to come. Like, that means that lots more is going to be happening. Like, you're gonna see maybe big timeline changes, and those timeline changes affect everything, and by affecting all of those different things, you have all these, just, I don't know, I keep on losing my words, like, just stuff that's setting up future stuff in the season, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, so it was nice to see Grant pop up in his bed, like, in 2013, and then him at the end of the episode, and Iris showing up for one scene. Joe played, like, a bigger part in this episode. It was nice seeing, the older version of Cecile, and then also Eddie Thorne showing up again. That was exciting. So all of that, it is good for fans. Sorry, I was just changing one thing. Okay. So that pretty much does it for The Flash, I think, for my conversation about The Flash. Do you guys have any other thoughts and opinions on The Flash? Right now, I don't think I have much else. So let's move on to Superman and Lois. Sorry, I'm just fixing the stream. There was like a little bug. Alright, Superman and Lois. And just as a reminder to you guys, I think we're going into the last 15 minutes or so of the live stream. Just simply, I'm pretty tired and I'm kind of losing my concentration a little bit, so I don't want to bore you guys. So let's go ahead and start with Superman and Lois, and yeah, you can send in your questions if you do have anything. Again, it's all optional, and if you want to support the channel, you can do it via the super chats or via the link. Okay, so let's move on to Superman and Lois then. So Superman and his brother, they're locked up together. So last episode, we had Superman being locked up for treason. Obviously, that isn't fairly locked up. He was basically, thrown in there because they need leverage on him. They need to be able to find out where Bizarro is, or at least, that's what Lieutenant Mitch Anderson is trying to get at in this episode. So, yeah. So basically the two of them are locked up together. And at one point, they kind of stage a little, breakout, like a coup, I guess you could call it. And by doing that, they actually beat the soldiers up, and, they were able to get out of there, which is exciting for them, obviously. But Sorry, just turning this on. It's exciting that they get out of there, but they are, they're on the run from the government. However, and it's a big however, because it turns out Lieutenant Mitch Anderson is in the wrong. Like, it's actually not Superman and Tao for getting out. Well, kind of Tao for breaking out, because he's not supposed to really break out as a prisoner. But Superman is okay, because basically Lieutenant Mitch Anderson has gone completely nuts. And by going completely nuts, he's, stepped over his boundaries, and he's done all of this that, he shouldn't have done. And basically he goes rogue. And at one point, shockingly, you know what he does? He kills Bizarro. I had no idea that was coming. That was completely shocking to me. I did not expect that at all. It was completely mad. And, I don't know if it's like completely set in, because like they set up Bizarro like he was a huge thing and it was gonna be a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal, especially because Ali is now kind of our main villain. But really, at the end of the day, well, this is cool. The big, Bizarro was set up to be like a bigger thing, and by him kind of going out this early, I don't know if it's like a little bit anticlimactic. That's just kind of my thoughts on it. Like, I've been thinking back and I'm like, did I like the way that Bizarro went out? I don't think I did. Like, that's a nitpick for me. I feel like the way he went out by, the ex-Kryptonite being like smashed all over him and stuff. I don't think it was that satisfying, to be honest. Like, I don't think Lieutenant Mitch Anderson didn't do that much to fight him, to be honest. Like, all he pretty much did was, go after him, and he's just like overdosing him on ex-Kryptonite, and he didn't even know that at first. Obviously, he realized during the fight that he was susceptible to ex-Kryptonite, and so he used it to his advantage. And obviously, he had no intention of Bizarro getting out alive, and that was made like pretty clear early on that he doesn't really care about any of this. Like, really, what he's doing is just like what he thinks is right, and he's willing to kind of overstep those boundaries when really he shouldn't be doing everything that he was doing. Krisha puts out a good point. Eric's here. Is he really dead? I'm not sure. Okay, let me fix this. I'm gonna try and get Eric on. I sent a invite on Discord to you, Eric. You should be able to join, and it's on the DCTVshow server on Discord. Or let me try and call you. Sorry guys, bear with me a minute. Okay, I'm gonna call Eric. Excuse the background noise. let's try and fix this. Alright, I'm gonna have to go off the camera for a minute because otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, this is the Discord. And you guys can join my Discord if you want. I don't know why my camera's not working. Okay, I have no idea what's going on. Like, Discord does not like me. Okay, I'm gonna resort to something else. Okay, I'm back on the screen. Let's figure this out. I apologize, guys. Give us a minute. You guys can join Discord by clicking the link that Nathan is putting in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna send you something else, Eric. Should be able to join this. Okay, I've invited Eric. Let's see if this works. If not, oh man, troubles. Yeah, like, sorry about this, guys. I really do apologize for, breaking up the stream, but that's my fault. Should have double checked if stuff was working before. But yeah, it should be working. Like, if this ends up working, like, we can get Eric's thoughts on some of this stuff. If not, maybe next week we'll go back to the normal layout with StreamYard. Cal has become a member. Well, actually, Cal's been a member for 6 months. Thanks, Cal. Pretty cool. Pops up on the screen. And just a reminder to you guys, if you want to send in any final super chat questions, now is the time to do that, because like we said, we don't have very long left, and hopefully Eric can join. Like, hopefully it works. Fingers crossed. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, let's just continue on with here for now, while we wait. So basically, Lieutenant Mitch Anderson, that's what I was talking about, he goes off the rails and he gives the pendant at the end of the episode to Ali. So that was a big kind of shocking revelation. Like, we knew he knew who Ali was because it's not because of anything. So I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like, anyway, he found out about Ali, and then with Ali, he just went up to her and he was like, what the hell was this pendant? And then he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to you, basically. So that's kind of crazy that he's doing that. Like, I didn't think he was that stupid, but I guess he doesn't know what it means, what it truly does. Welcome, Cal, by the way. Welcome to the live stream. No worries. You have not been delayed later than March, but Gary has, and Gary he kind of cursed the Flash film because now it's delayed by like 8 months. But yeah, so basically he goes a bit nuts, and Lieutenant Mitch Anderson doesn't he doesn't make a good decision. We got a new member of the channel. You just saw it there. Krisha and the Boo Boo. Welcome. They are a super friend. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate you and everyone who supports the channel. And if you guys don't know how to become a member, you can click on the join button. It's next to the subscribe button. And you know, any support is greatly appreciated. I really do appreciate you guys. Yeah. So let's move on from there. So basically, Ali is probably going to become some sort of god. And then also Lois and Jonathan, they have a huge fight in this episode. That's a big deal because Jonathan basically gets caught by the police, and he's adamant throughout the entire episode to not give up the person he was hiding the ex-Kryptonite, like, protecting. It's pretty obvious that it's Candace, but no one guesses it in this episode, and he still doesn't give it up. Like, I thought he would give it up at some point, but no, not at this point. Yeah, I don't know, like, it's kind of... I mean, Jonathan made a mistake, basically. And he's gonna have to deal with it, and, like, I mean, at the end of the episode, he's, like, crying and stuff, so it's actually a lot harsher on him than I think he ever imagined, and than we imagined as well. Mayata, we did talk about the Flash, but we can briefly talk about it again if you have any questions. So yeah, send them in the chat. But yeah, basically, let's just continue with this. So Lois, throughout the whole episode, is like really mad at Jonathan because of his choices. She did not expect that he would ever make such choices like that. And obviously, we know that Jonathan isn't like... I mean, he did take it, but like he wasn't like the supplier dealer kind of person. And Lois comes to that realization towards the end of the episode, thanks to the potential new mayor of Smallville, that being Lana. So, I mean, Lana had a kind of big part in this episode, just on, you know, her own side, because she basically had this big moment towards the end of the episode where she confronted like the current mayor of Smallville, and basically he's there trying to expose her as like this bad parent, like blaming everything on her and like saying that she can't like even keep a family together. Like, it's really, really terrible. Like, it's bad politics. Like, it's horrid. And so it's great to see her confronting that, like, face on. But that through line in this episode is basically to prove the point that Lana is a good person, she's a family person, and she could definitely win. Okay, so Sarah meets Kyle at the end of the episode. Sarah doesn't do that much in this episode. Like, it's mainly about the other characters. And I would say arguably the episode was more about like Jonathan and Lois and Lana, along with the Superman stuff. Obviously, like we said, Bizarro's dead and everything like that. That is, you know, something that... it's just like kind of happened out of nowhere, like I said before, and I don't know how I feel personally about it, but I was definitely shocked by Bizarro, you know, going out so early. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, that pretty much does it, like, in regards to my main topics with Superman and Lois and the Flash. If you guys have any final questions that you want to ask me, now is the time. I'll just do a Q&A with you guys. So if you want to send them in via Super Chats, obviously it'll pop up on the screen, and that takes priority just as we end the stream. So now is the time to do that before we do end the stream. Then also remember you guys can send in via the normal super chats as well, or via this link, or you can just put it in the chat, and we'll answer whoever has any good questions. That's the important thing, right? So I think we're just gonna end the stream with just me, because I think there's too many technical issues. Maybe next week I'll just go back to StreamYard, because I don't know, it's kind of hard to get other people to join through like Discord or Zoom or something like that. It doesn't seem to work very smoothly, which is a shame, because I do like this. And I mean, I think the whole kind of idea of doing the OBS was to kind of avoid YouTube as well, with like super chats. But obviously that's like, I'm not gonna force you guys to click the link, but I keep on saying that, but it's just basically, if you want to fully support the channel, the link is better, because YouTube does take like kind of cut like a cut out of it, so it's a bit annoying. But nevertheless, let's continue. So next week Goldface comes back. That is true. Goldface is back next week. That is freaking mad. Like, we have the Royal Flush Gang, and then we have bloody Goldface coming back. Like, oh my god, you couldn't have picked like two worse things in a row. Like, what else are we gonna get? Like, oh my god, are we gonna get Amunet Black this season? Anyway, I didn't hate this episode. Like, I enjoyed it. There was like good things, there was nitpicky things I have, but like, do we need villains like the Royal Flush Gang? Do we actually need them? And do we need Goldface? Like, don't worry, Mayata. Yeah, I'm just kind of tired of these kind of cringy villains. Like, can we have like a serious villain for once? You know. But I guess that's why I like Armageddon, because Armageddon wasn't silly. It was very serious, and like, you have Reverse Flash, and there was proper big stakes. And this episode is like, okay, these guys are, you know, just they're clowns. They're literally clowns. That's what they were. Hey Dwan, welcome to the live stream. We are just finishing up, so good time that you're on your break right now, because you're catching the end of the stream. We got about like 8 minutes left or so of the stream, so if you do have any questions, please be sure to send them in right now. That would be awesome. We have a new member of the channel. We got lots of members this stream. Ryan is here, Ryan Bream. Thank you very much, Ryan, for becoming a super friend. I really appreciate it. We got 2 new members this stream. That is awesome. I love to see that. And you guys who are members, remember, you can join our monthly members Zoom call. That is going to be pretty soon. I'm just like super bogged down right now, but we're going to get to it when we get to it, sometime in the next couple of weeks. So if you have an Instagram, both of you, Krista and Ryan, send it to me either on Twitter, or you can send it in the chat right now. Send me your Instagram and we'll add you to the members chat, because we have a members chat on Instagram, and that's where we normally organize our Zoom calls, where we just talk face to face. And yeah, so welcome to the channel. Welcome. That is awesome. Thank you for joining and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. But yeah, so let's answer a last couple of questions as we head towards the end of the stream. Jordan's just keep on saying, Daddy likes a metal, Daddy's coming back. Yeah, it's true, Daddy is coming back. Do you think General Lane is going to be the next Dodd? Favor Ray says. Do you mean Zod? I'm not sure. Can you clarify in the chat and I'll answer it? Oh yeah, and Kramer is back next episode as well. Oh, bloody fun. It's gonna be good. Dwayne has a question. Hey bud, I got a question for you. Do you watch Naomi yet? How how you say about the TV show to me, that's boring. You think it's boring? I haven't watched it yet. Like, honestly, like I said, I'm super busy right now. And even just like staying up and I watched The Flash and Superman and Lois, like I went to bed so late. That's why I was yawning in the stream. Like, I think I slept for like 5 hours last night, maybe, because I watched The Flash like super late. And I don't have time to stay up for like an extra hour to watch anime. Plus, I have to make my video, because if you guys don't know what I do, I watch the episode, then I pretty much record my review straight away. That's why a lot of the time I tend to upload my review straight away after the episode airs, like an hour after the episode airs. That's when it normally comes out. So like my Flash review, if you guys haven't seen it, you should go check it out. It's on the channel right now. But that came out last night after the episode airs. I don't know what you guys prefer, because sometimes you guys are like online and you'll watch it, and the Americans especially will watch it. But you know, if I upload it at that time, I know all of the English people are asleep, so it's always better to, you know, for the English people for the next day, and for the European people, and I don't know about people all in different parts of the world, but yeah. So yeah, I just haven't got around to Naomi. Yeah, that's my answer. Thanks for the question, Joanne. And in episode 8 of The Flash, the hotness is coming back. Oh my god, the hotness is coming back. Like, literally, they got every meme. So, episode 6, we had the Royal Flush Gang. Episode 7, we have Daddy Likes Metal. And episode 8, we have the hotness. Wow, that is like a real mix of like memeable villains coming back, like 3 episodes in a row. That's incredible. Like, they are all super cringy and happening like one episode after the next. Like, so I really question what the reason is for these interlude episodes that Eric Wallace talks about, because it seems they're just an excuse to have villains of the week like we used to have in the past. I honestly prefer it where we have villains of the week and we have like an episode that is like big to do with the villain, the main villain of the season, and then we hop in and we have a filler episode, then we go back to the next one, then we have a filler episode, we come back, and then we go continue with that. I honestly prefer that than the interlude thing, because having like 3 interlude episodes back to back to back is like, it's a bit boring. We just want to get to the point. We want to get to whoever that next villain is. That definitely, I don't know. It's just like red flags. It's like the Royal Flush Gang, the hotness, and Daddy Likes the Metal. Like, oof, I don't know. That's crazy. Anyway, just one final warning. We got a couple minutes left, so if you do have any final questions, please be sure to send them in now. But yeah, I don't have like that much more to say, because I feel like I covered everything. But yeah, sorry for like the weird kind of choppy stream a little bit. Yeah, I apologize for that. I'm gonna try and streamline everything a lot more next week, especially in terms of getting guests on. So yeah, it's just like trying out new software, trying out the link and everything. But I mean, maybe I should just go back to the basics, because I don't think it makes that much of a difference, honestly. But yeah, so that pretty much does it for the stream, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, it's pretty late here. I'm gonna head off. But I will have videos out tomorrow on like Gotham Knights and maybe some of the other stuff. Like, there's been some Flash articles. I know Eric Wallace talked about wanting a Supergirl character to show up. So we have a lot of stuff to get through, and obviously the Flash trailer breakdown. Yeah, but that about does it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.